It is now my pleasure to introduce Shawn Brixey, Dean, School of the Arts, Special Assistant to the Provost for the School of the Arts in Qatar, Professor, School of the Arts, and Affiliate Professor, School of Engineering. Please join me in welcoming Dean Shawn Brixey. Thank you.
So, class of 2018, friends and family, welcome to the VCUarts 2018 May Commencement Ceremony. Yes, go ahead. Live it. Feel it. Today is certainly a historic event for our graduates of this incredible community. Artists, teachers, scholars, designers, and performers. And it's historic for me as well because today marks my first commencement as your dean. My first commencement in Richmond, because I'm a little jet lagged and a little groggy because I just got back from Doha and their fantastic graduation as well. It is a great honor to celebrate with you a seminal day in your life. Several years ago, each of you decided to make your first big investment in your own future in your education. Some of you chose VCUarts because it is the top-ranked public university art and design school in the United States. Some of you, of course, came here knowing that a degree from this particular school with this particular faculty and these resources would gain you credibility as an artist, as a professional, as a visionary. But whatever the reason, you chose VCUarts because it felt like the smartest, the healthiest, and likeliest place to launch your extraordinary careers. VCU is a place that not only has great potential, but undeniable momentum. What makes this university so unique and the reason our global ranking is climbing so rapidly is because we've got this very unusual circumstance where our School of the Arts and Design isn't just an add-on, it's not a show pony, it's not a dollop of whipped cream. Instead, it is a pillar of our institution, and it is the centerpiece of VCU. Globe and Mail writer Guy Dixon asserts that art schools are setting the pace in preparing today's innovators. He calls art schools the font of ideas and incubators of all different kinds of innovation. And why is that? Because what exists inherently in a creative environment like an art school can be harnessed on a much broader scale to create a sustainable culture of innovation and creativity that permeates workplaces, cities, even societies. Our northern neighbors in Canada clearly understand this. Before I arrived to VCU in August of last year, I was dean of the largest art school in North America. During that time, the Canadian government gave more money to the arts than they did to science and engineering. Why? Why? Because they're confident that investing in a culture of innovation is going to be the catalyst that transforms their country and their position in the world. I know that they're right. We know that they're right. What's more, I think Richmond is proof that investing in creativity can be game-changing. Richmond, Virginia today is at a tipping point. I ran into a venture capitalist at an event who had just moved from San Francisco, he'd been there 25 years, and I said, "Why did you move here?" And he said, "It's the next big thing. It's because of you." And so, Richmond, VCUarts students, The tipping point is because of you, and people recognize it. Because this city has a culture of innovation, a culture fueled by the very people in this room. This incredible faculty, this outstanding class of 2018, as well as VCUarts alumni like the man I'll introduce in just a moment. Creativity is central to this new kind of economy, and Richmond has a natural platform to bring that conversation to its fullest fruition. We're a city with a rapidly changing facade, with walls covered in street art and new independent businesses popping up one after another. We have more tattoos than almost any city in America. Yes, that's right. And I'm certain that you will be reminded tonight, in Manchester, we have some of the very best breweries in the United States as well. It's important to recognize we're a breath away from the nation's capital. What Richmonders do in Virginia can be seen by everyone in Washington. And we're a place eager to build bridges across all of our historical divides. We're driven to learn from our past and lead national conversations about diversity, inclusivity, belonging, and civil rights. When I first grasped the full picture of what was possible for me, for us, in this place, I had an overwhelming sense of awe and wonder. It's the students, it's the faculty, it's the 30 buildings. It's more than you can possibly imagine. And today, I want each of you, as well as your friends and family, to understand that I feel that very same sense of awe and wonder for you as you prepare to move on from VCUarts. As a graduate myself of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Engineering, I have the qualifications to serve as the dean of an engineering school. But I chose to be dean of this school, an art school, because it is where the best and most important intersectional discoveries in human history are going to come from. It is the arts, which is what has always allowed us to discover what it fundamentally means to be human and to document that in ways that no one could ever have imagined. A lot of us in this room, we went to schools where they said anything was possible. I hear some chuckling. You remember how difficult that was? Today, our School of the Arts is at the epicenter of not only what's possible, but how do we build a school where it's likely? And there is a huge difference between simply being possible and likely. Make no mistake, this is a school of hybrids. With diverse specialized talents, we're a community of painters, of filmmakers, sculptors, animators, historians, performers, designers, and the list just goes on and on. Each of you have devoted years of your lives to fields of expertise that will no doubt have you committing many decades more. And yet, in the pursuit of your individual degrees, you've also embraced a strong interdisciplinary mindset, which is in the DNA of not only our school, but an institution like VCU. Today's art students are cross-trained and forging new paths in areas of healthcare, medicine, engineering, and technology. We have our first clinical trials of augmented reality for palliative care occurring in the medical school, 39 projects going on just between the arts and the medical school. I could go on and on. Each of you has not only had access to this radically different kind of creative culture of innovation, but you've also contributed to it daily. You've expanded us and you have changed us, and we thank you. You've introduced us to new ideas, methods, and enabled us to become new versions of ourselves, and we thank you. In this place, you've been trained to be bold, to be daring, creatively daring. You've been taught to navigate complex problems and overcome failure. You've been encouraged to become the world's leading experts in your own area of creative practice. And in doing so, you've been prepared to be successful for careers that in some instances don't even exist yet. Prepared to make a new kind of history built on VCUarts pillars of access, social justice, equality, interdisciplinarity, and hybridization. So much is possible for you, individually and collectively, because you've made this wise decision to come to this place at this time. I want to thank all of you for all that you have done and all that you dream to do. And I want to wish you the wildest ride and success. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce a VCUarts graduate who not only demonstrates what you might aspire to achieve, but who exemplifies how integrity and relentless work ethic are among the most valuable tools you will possess as alumni of this extraordinary school. Bobby C. Martin, Jr., earned his BFA in Communication Arts and Design in 1999. 1999. That was an auspicious year, wasn't it? The final year, not simply of a decade or a century, but a millennia. In 1999, we were all prepared for a paradigm shift. We knew it was coming. I'm a creature of the 20th century, but with my colleagues, we helped pioneer the 21st. And yet, while we were all holding our breath for something to happen, the inevitable tide of change to roll in, for that paradigm shift to take hold, Bobby simply couldn't wait or didn't wait. He forged ahead, leading the change to transform the distinct markings of the world as a designer. Over the past 18 years, he's perpetually pushed the leading edge of design. He's made his own paradigm shift. After graduating, Bobby pursued his MFA at the School of Visual Arts in New York, moving on to lead a number of internal design teams through the first decade of the 21st century. Following the 2004 opening of the Jazz at Lincoln Center in Manhattan, he worked with artistic director Wynton Marsalis to breathe life into that brand, imbuing it with the cool, electric attitude that is immutably jazz. At Nokia in London, he oversaw the company's branding identity across the entire global packaging range. In 2006, he became a board member of the New York chapter of the American Institute of Graphic Arts. In 2007, he returned to the School of Visual Arts as an instructor. This all in the span of a single decade. But in 2010, Bobby decided to take another risk. Together with Jennifer Kinnon, he founded a branding and design agency in New York City called OCD, Original Champions of Design. It's been a risk that's quickly paid off. For 8 years, Bobby and his team at OCD have built and implemented new identity systems for iconic brands such as MTV, MoMA, the Girl Scouts, Saks Fifth Avenue, and the High Line in New York. They've transformed the look of Ad Age, Dartmouth College, the New York Times, and the WNBA, rocketing decades of old juggernauts far ahead of their previous curve. They've designed materials for new initiatives by the Apollo Theater, Good Housekeeping, and NYU. Most recently, they worked with The Atlantic, serving as art directors for a commemorative issue marking 50 years since the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. What makes OCD so remarkable is that they've developed totally new identities. They have dared to reconsider the most time-honored designs. For their innovative work, they've won awards from AIGA 365, the Art Directors Club of New York, D&AD, FPO, Best of Show and Judges Pick in the 2011 Brand New Awards, and so many more. Since founding the agency, Bobby's been named one of the most creative people in business by Fast Company. He's been made a board member of the Type Directors Club, has been featured in Business Week, Graphic Design USA, People to Watch. Bobby has lectured around the world, and today I am extremely proud to welcome him back to Richmond as an alum, back to VCUarts, and where it all began. Class of 2018, families, friends, loved ones, neighbors, please join me in welcoming Bobby C. Martin, Jr.
I want to start by thanking Dean Brixey, and thank you to VCU, where I had many incredible teachers and invaluable lessons. To all of the families and friends who've come so far to be here today, thank you. My family's here too. VCU class of 2018. Hello. You look great today. A little smarter, a little wiser, a little more ready than yesterday. I can see it in you. You have a gift that cannot be bought or sold. You have dedicated the last few years of your life to growing it, and it will repay you in spades. But creativity is a fickle beast. It gives us the extraordinary ability to make something from nothing. And it's hard work, but it pays off. It gives us the pride of a job well done, the relief of getting that idea on paper, on screen, on canvas, out of your head. But then it turns a corner, and it makes us vulnerable. In bringing creativity to the world, we confront the fear of the new, the power of the familiar, the ease of, no, I don't like it. That's weird. To make is a risk. To love, to like even, is a risk too. That's why it's so hard to get to the word yes. That's why they say the second person on the dance floor is the bravest. Let me tell you why. Because it takes heart and passion and grit to make something artful. Something totally new. But to you, that's just homework. Man, it takes guts to show it to people. Being an artist is to be completely vulnerable. So why do we do it? The world is a crazy place. We bring context to confusion. We bring insight to instability. We challenge, we celebrate, we see the unseen. We offer new ways into hard ideas, big ideas, old ideas, new ways of seeing that only we have the vision to bring to the world. And bring it we must. After all, that's how we got here. Here to this place in the world. Here to the Altria Theater. It's hard to imagine a time when Richmond did not value the arts. When there were no colorful houses on Cary Street. When there was no Gray Street Theater, no Reynolds Gallery, no Mob Gallery, no 1708 Gallery. It's hard to imagine a time when there was no Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, no VCU Institute for Contemporary Art, no Virginia Commonwealth University School of the Arts. But it wasn't so long ago. Richmond was bleak, and times were hard, and progress seemed impossible. But two young activists, women your age, decided to do something about it. Adele Clark and Nora Houston first took on the fight for women's right to vote. Then, unaccepting of the impossible, they brought the arts to Richmond. They founded the Richmond Arts Club. And it's there that another young woman, Teresa Pollock, found her gift for creativity. With the support of Clark and Houston, she moved to New York to deepen her studies. And upon arriving back to Richmond, she participated in a group exhibition where she was approached by a Dr. Henry Hibbs. So he asked Pollock if she'd started an art school, and she said yes. That was the Richmond division of William and Mary. Years later, it became the Richmond Professional Institute. And in 1968, Richmond Professional Institute became Virginia Commonwealth University, your School of the Arts. 3 women your age back in the 1910s brought us here today. Now, can you imagine the vulnerability they must have felt? Remember this. Right here in Monroe Park, a place we've passed through thousands of times, our hero, Nora Houston, gave a pro-suffrage speech, and people threw stones at her. And years later, long after her death, Adele Clark found one of those stones in her jewelry box. Art makes anything possible if you're tough enough. So what I'm talking about today is an awareness of how hard it is to lead, to create, to make something totally new, and how easy it is for the world to greet that with resistance. I know a little something about that. I'm a black man, and this is America. This is America. My dad, a professor at Hampton, a university not too far from here, he'd always tell me, do more than you ask, son. You're going to have to give more, and you'll get less. But don't give up. Now, you might have thought I wasn't listening, but I heard him. Who here has had that talk? It'll serve you well in the arts. As an artist, we have to push, 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 and over-deliver. Never give up. To create is to make something from nothing, to bring something totally new into this world. But then what? We're not done there. We need to learn how to talk about it. We need to learn how to share it with people. And we need to share it with lots of people. We need to explain it, and we need to make it better. I think that's why I'm here today. I'm here because I'm the most relentless. My parents set me up to give more and expect less. And I've grinded it out every day since. I grew up in Hampton Roads, and if you know the area, you know it's a sports town. And in my generation, Hampton Roads gave us Alonzo Mourning and Joe Smith and Allen Iverson. And growing up, I wanted to be one of them. I wanted to play in the NBA. Instead, I came to VCU. I was the president of the Illustrators Club. In 2001, Iverson won the NBA MVP. I started graduate school. In 2010, I opened a design firm. In 2012, we rebranded the WNBA. In 2016, we relaunched the NBA Development League. And in 2017, my team, 8 young designers and strategists, people not much older than you are, we made the first updates to the NBA logo in 48 years. Now, coming out of Hampton Roads, I was no NBA player, but I have made NBA history. And my client was the NBA Chief Marketing Officer, Pamela L., VCU class of 1983. Now, it wasn't an easy process. We heard, no, I don't like it, Bobby. That's weird. But we were ready for it. And I want you to be ready for it too. Be ready for the challenge that comes after you've made something totally new. Be relentless, over-deliver, and never give up. VCU has taught you how to make. You've got that. You've got that gift in you. If my time with you today can do anything, I hope it prepares you for what comes next. I hope you hear my voice in that moment after the making, when the fear kicks in. There are so many brilliant kids that just disappear. And it's not because they fail, it's because they were afraid to fail. Another brilliant woman once said, fear is always with us, but we just don't have time for it, not now. I'm asking you to be bold. Seek out the no, I don't like it, that's weird, and confront it with confidence. Conquer your vulnerability. Show your work. Talk about your work. Write about your work, and change the world. We see the unseen. We do the impossible. We challenge. We dare. We are hope. We are love. We are pride. Because we are the arts. We put the stones that are thrown at us in our jewelry box. Those little slings and arrows can't kill our big ideas. They only make them stronger. Because starting today, starting right now, we're ready. Thank you.